Hello, you wonderful explorers. Welcome to March's episode of The Psychic Explorer. How are you? I am coming to you from a very cozy back bedroom. Spring has finally sprung, the daffodils are out, and the sun has been shining. My bones are warming with the season. It's wonderful. But we're still in that time of year where the evenings are cold and chilly, and I'm at home. The central heating is on and I'm in my back bedroom, aka my makeshift recording studio. And I am warm, I am cozy, I am comfy. I'm trying not to move around in my chair too much because it creaks. But I am cozy, and you know what? For the first time in so long, I feel really comfortable. And today's episode, I am changing gears. For me, March is the proper new year. I said back in January on the New Year's Day episode that for me, the pressure to have some sort of resolution or to see it as a brand new start, but to start something new in the middle of winter is just so alien to me. That now, as we approach proper spring, mid-spring, things are opening, things are being released, things are being realized, and that's exactly how I feel. Today's episode, fellow explorers, is all about authenticity, and I have a genuine question I'd like to ask you. When you show up in your life, whether that be talking to your neighbors, whether that be talking to your family, whether that be in your mediumship if you practice, but in your everyday, how authentic are you? I'm going to ask that again and just leave that there with you just for a moment or two, just so you can think about it. And this is not a judgment question at all. It's a genuine question. How authentic are you? How much do you show the real you to the people you interact with? And actually, as I ask that question, let's take it a step further. How authentic are you to yourself? How much do you put a mask on? How much do you do, say, or even think things that you should do, say, or think because other people think that you should do, say, or think those things? This is something that has been dawning on me for a little while now, about how authentic. The idea of, not even the idea, the question, how authentic am I? How do I show up? And before I answer that question to you, I need to remind you why I started this podcast. This podcast started to show you a genuine journey through developing their mediumship or their psychism, what it really looks like, what it really sounds like to walk day by day along this path, following the breadcrumbs of mysticism, of magic, and philosophy. I wanted to demonstrate to you dear listeners, the realities of self-doubt, the highs of getting things right, the lows of getting things wrong, and not in a filtered way, not in a curated Instagram-ready package. The raw and the vulnerable, together with the wonder and the excitement. And just recently, the past couple of months, I have not been enjoying it. I have been trying to chase something which I always said I would never try and chase. And I find that I oscillate between these two, wanting it to just unfold naturally. And I'll talk about what it is in a moment. But allowing it to unfold naturally, and the pressure, I paused then to try and think of the word, but pressure, and this is certainly a pressure that I put on myself, it's not coming from anywhere else, of wanting it to look a certain way, of wanting it to perform, to behave in a certain way. And that it is not only my mediumship, but it's also how I show up in the online world, it's how I show up in this podcast. And I have to be honest with myself. When I ask myself, have I been authentic? I look back and I think these episodes have morphed into something different than I had intended. The phrase comparison is the thief of joy was introduced to me a couple of years ago. I know I may have been late to the party on that one. Nicola, my face-to-face circle leader, she told me this on day one. She said, comparison is the thief of joy. And I have been comparing myself, and I felt that my joy has been stolen. I've been getting myself bogged down with chasing numbers, chasing algorithms, showing up in places where I feel really uncomfortable. You may have seen on my Instagram recently that I was putting posts up saying, if you want more of this, say yes, or, let me know what you want more of. Do you want to see more of my face, or do you want to see different content? And I was putting it out there. Why was I putting it out there? I was putting that sort of content out because I was so caught up in what I thought Instagram wanted me to be. I look at other mediums and I see that they put amazing natural content out there. I look at somebody who I've interviewed recently who's coming up on the podcast in May. And Kelsey Anderson produces these videos, these reels, and she is such a natural at them. She is so good at them. The content that she puts out is wonderful. And I can only aspire to be as natural, as clean, as concise as she is. And I've got myself into such a muddle because I tried to do that. I tried to video myself. I tried to put more content out there. And against my better judgment, I fell flat on my face. Now, when I say flat on my face, I don't mean that it failed miserably. I mean, it did. Like, I put so much effort into these little videos. And just bear with me on this one. This is not a social media rant, I promise. This is something relevant to my journey, my story. But I was filming myself and I was trying to clip up videos together and make this slick production that was taking me hours, and I mean like 4 or 5 hours to put, I don't know, a 20, 30-second video together. It was ridiculous because when I do this, I freeze. I said this to you before, that for a half-hour episode, like the raw audio is like an hour and a half because there are so many pauses, there are so many gaps, there's so many repetitions because I want to get it right. And I can almost get away with it on audio. On a podcast, I can almost get away with it. Hopefully you can't tell too much where I'm making the cuts. But on video, it's so obvious and I get so in my head about it. And not only that, but I can't bear looking at myself on video. I find it so incredibly cringe. I find that I beat myself up unrelentingly to such a point where I actually feel sick with self-loathing. And I know that's extreme, I know that's harsh, but honestly, it's like I just cannot bear how I look. I cannot bear how I sound. And to put that out into the world, because what I have perceived is what I should be doing, because that's what everyone else is doing, because that's how you grow your channel, I felt like I was a slave to it. I really felt slavish to the algorithm. I don't like using that word, but I do not use it lightly. I really did feel like I was flogging myself on the altar of the algorithm. And it was unhealthy, without repeating myself too much. It sent me on this self-fulfilling spiral of self-loathing. And it's funny because when I'm in that state, I can't see the wood for the trees. I can't look at it objectively and tell myself, and coach myself rather, out of it. I'm in it, and I am saying, why am I not performing? Why am I not doing things properly? Why am I not doing things like everyone else is? Even with my episodes, I have listened back to a couple, and I know the earlier ones are rough. I know they are. But I've listened to a couple and I think, oh God, I've got to re-record all the audio. I've got to re-record it because I've got to make it as perfect as I can. I've put out guest episodes and I've loved talking to all my guests, but I've noticed a theme. I am mimicking other podcasts where I'm asking guests to explain spirituality or whatever it might be from their point of view. And that was not the point of this podcast. The point of this podcast is to explore journeys is to explore people's mediumship. And that has been ticking away in the back of my mind, that I have been veering from my path. I've been trying to follow, I've been trying to chase what other people do because I see it works for them. And of course, we all have this ego within us. We all have this ego monster that lives within each of us. And that ego monster wants to be validated. That ego monster wants to be told that they're doing well, that they are liked. And in this day and age, one of the biggest ways of doing that is metrics, is likes, it's shares, it's comments, it's this, that, and the other. And boy, do I hate that. I do hate it. So I am making this promise to you now that going forward from today, if I sound slower, if I sound less rushed, if I do not sound as engaging as everyone else who is on Spotify or who is on Apple Podcasts or who is on YouTube or wherever, and if that is something that you want, please find them, because that is not me. I am a quiet, I am a gentle, plodding, slow podcast. And I am going to do my utmost to get back to the authentic me. When it comes to my guest episodes, I want to focus on their journey. I want to focus on their self-doubt. I want to focus on the things that have mattered to them. Because I'm pretty sure the things that matter to them are things that matter to you. I'm sat here in my back bedroom and I am thinking of the things to say. I've got brief bullet points of the things I want to cover. But other than that, I'm just sat here with my eyes closed and I'm just letting myself just speak to you. And I'm asking myself, how does this all relate back to mediumship? How is this not just a filler episode where you don't really have anything to say about mediumship? Instead, you're just talking into the ether cathartically. Well, my dear listener, I asked you earlier on if you were authentic. And if you said you're not, then, absolutely. Well done. Bravo you for being so bloody honest. But if, like me, you struggle with trying to be someone that you're not, trying to be someone that you think you need to be in order to succeed, I am here to tell you, as much as I'm here to tell me, that if people want loud, if people want brash, if people want in-your-face TikTok videos which blare music at them and blare news articles at them, like that awful one that I put out a month or two ago, then that is not me. That is not you. You need to be you. There's that phrase from that film, that Kevin Costner film, build it and they will come. I need to have faith that by me being me is going to attract like-minded people. And that is the same for mediumship. Since I've stepped onto this journey over the past 2.5 years or so, I've listened to the Tyler Henrys. I've listened to the Teresa Caputos. I've discovered David the Medium. I have come to admire and come to respect and come to want to mimic these very impressive mediums who are at the top of their game. But that's not my mediumship. My mediumship is all about the feels. My mediumship is all about how your loved ones felt. My mediumship is true to me, just as yours is true to you, and yours is true to those who are drawn to you. That there are so many different people out there with so many different gifts that there really is someone for everyone. And sometimes people might not like you. Sometimes people might step away from you. You will not be for everyone. I am not for everyone. And that is absolutely fine. I've questioned myself because I've not been doing a lot of mediumship recently. I thought, oh, blimey, what can I talk about? Because I've got this podcast where I speak once a month about my journey and once a month about someone else's journey. And as I was thinking about what to talk about today, I was thinking, I've not done many readings. I've gone to Circle for January and February, but in those 2 hours a week that I'm there, I'm probably only reading, about half an hour, 45 minutes. And that's not a lot when you think of all the hours in the week. So actually, My resolution, I think it was to practice. But guess what, people? I'm human. I have a life and it's been busy. And that is good because that is what I'm here for. I'm here to live a life. I'm here to be human. And when I shake off this mortal coil, I will have all the time in the world, quite literally, to be whatever it is that I will be. But in this moment in time now, I'm here to be human. And I'm also just trying to find that balance between that sweet spot between living my life and having one foot in this world as well. But also being conscious that I need some, I'm sure you would appreciate me to talk about something genuine and something valid for these monthly conversations. And so in the spirit of authenticity, in the spirit of genuine conversations, I'm going to keep this week's episode short. I know it was late being released. I was taking my time with what I was going to say, how I was going to say it. And I really don't want to over-egg the topic today because I'm sure that the topic of authenticity resonates with you. If not directly within you, yourself, and your soul, then certainly you will have experienced that from other people, other people's lack of authenticity, other people's masking to be something that they are not. Know that going forward in the Psychic Explorer, there will be a shift, there will be a gear change. And interestingly enough, my next guest episode, the wonderful Anne-Marie Pisano, is exactly where I want to re-guide the episodes to. Anne-Marie Pisano's episode is an exploration of her journey. It's interesting because I recorded this back in the summer. And even before I'd had this existential crisis of my ego, I recorded it. And as I recorded it, I said in the introduction that I wanted to take the episodes back to a different place, to the place of exploration of other people's journeys. And isn't it funny how these things work out? Because I said that completely subconsciously. I said that automatically back in the summer. And the month that episode will be released, in a week or so's time, it has come to pass. The realization that where I was going with these episodes was not necessarily where I wanted it to go. Likewise, the episode after that with the fantastic Natalie Lockett is such a genuine conversation. It's just beautiful. I can't wait for you to hear that one in April. And then in May, as I said before, the very wise Kelsey Anderson will be popping in May. That episode is more topic-based around travel and how travel can impact and influence spirituality. I think it is such a genuine conversation. I can't wait for you to hear that one. So the very next 3 guest episodes are exactly where I want to go back. And isn't it funny, like I say, how these things just work out. In the Kelsey Anderson episode, I was talking to her about my travels. And you know that I love to travel. I love to take my microphone with me and record all the sounds that I can in these far-flung places. And even not so far-flung, Scotland, a few hours up the road from me. Well, maybe a bit more than a few, but still, you get my drift. Well, just the other weekend, I took my other half to Iceland. It was a 3.5-hour flight from us. And my word, if you can go, if you have the opportunity to go, I implore you, you must visit Iceland. It is such a magical, such a special place. It was a place to explore, and it was a place to explore new things in my physical life. In the episode with Kelsey, we talk about how she finds travel really spiritual. For me, it's more of a physical thing. I love it. I absolutely love the experience of traveling. But for me, it's a more physical thing. For Kelsey, much more spiritual. And I have to admit, when I went to Iceland, we were so busy. We were so on the go. Every hour was crammed with getting to somewhere or doing something or seeing places that I didn't really give myself the opportunity to just stop and absorb and tap in. Except for one beach, Reynisfjörður Beach in southern Iceland next to the town of Vik. Oh my word, this place is just spiritual. If there's nowhere else on the planet that is spiritual, this place is. We went and it was blanketed in snow. So the whole landscape we were surrounded by white mountains and the sea was crashing in, blue skies above us, and the beach and the surrounding rock is jet black. Black from the surrounding volcanic rock that has been pummeled and exploded into tiny, tiny pieces, which almost make up sand, but it's not sand. It's fragmented lava rock, which has exploded into 1 billion pieces. And this jet black volcanic lava sand glistens as the water rolls over it. The contrast between the black sand, the white snow, and the white of the foam of the waves coming in. The blue sky above us, it was just otherworldly, and there's no other way of describing it. I was stood there on these rocks, which stand in the middle of the beach, watching the waves roll in, feeling the rumble of it reverberate within my body. I had this calling to just be me, to show up, be me, to not be this hyper DJ-esque caricature of a podcast presenter, which I worry, I worry that some of my previous episodes have morphed into. To just be me, to be gentle, to be calm, to be slow. Like that beach, take its time and become something magnificent. And I hope that's not too grand a statement for such a modest podcast, but yeah, I'm going to leave you with the sounds of Reynisfjordur Beach, and as I leave you with the sounds of this incredible landscape, I want to ask you again: are you being you? Are you self-imposing pressure upon yourself? How authentic are you when you show up? Take care, guys. Bye.